Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to reveal what I packed in my camera bag for a day trip to IBC 2024 in Amsterdam. If you're new here, then my name's Sanjay. I'm a videographer. I'm based in the UK. I shoot, edit and produce podcasts, corporate events and social media content. IBC, or the International Broadcasting Convention, is where the major broadcast tech companies, camera manufacturers, audio and lighting specialists all gather together. It's one of the largest events outside of the US, with NAB in Las Vegas probably being its American counterpart. So my trip was a one-day affair, flying from London to Amsterdam. It's a quick 50-minute flight. I say quick, but there are obviously caveats to that. So I flew out first thing in the morning on a 6 a.m. flight, and I returned on a flight which was leaving Amsterdam at 9:45 p.m. making it a full-on day, and that meant I had the whole day to see as much of the conference and maximize my time in Amsterdam. Now, in order to further maximize that time, I had to be very selective and careful at what I packed in my camera bag, and in this video I'm going to showcase what I decided to bring for that day trip. Okay, so let's get straight into it. My bag of choice is the Peak Design Everyday Backpack, which is the 15-litre version. Now, this is kind of what it says on the tin, right? This is my everyday backpack. This is the backpack that if I don't need to take a lot of stuff, this is the thing I take with me. And this is the reason I bought this backpack. I actually own a Low Pro Tactic, I can't remember the name of it, but it's this big beefy thing. It's got everything, it can fit everything I need and the kitchen sink. But it was just too big, and especially on EasyJet, they have this free bag that you can bring on, which has to be a certain size, and this backpack literally fit the dimensions of their restrictions on EasyJet. I've got a lot of mixed feelings about this bag. Let me talk about the good things first. This bag is solid. The construction of this bag is very, very impressive. It's made from high quality materials, straps, zippers, handle. Now, this is really crucial when you're using this bag to protect really valuable items like your camera and your lenses. I like these straps that it has for external attachments like tripods or accessories. The shoulder straps as well, they're really well designed, they're solid, they allow for free movement, which is supposed to increase your comfort. I also really like the design of this chest strap. It looks quite flimsy, but actually they're very, very solid pieces, and once you hook this into the place, it really isn't going to go anywhere, and it's a nice way just to keep things a little bit more secure and tighter on your chest. Now, another great feature of Peak Design, and it's not necessarily of this bag itself, is the Peak Design capture clip. I love this thing because it can hold your camera really securely where you need it the most. So I had the capture clip secured to the strap of the camera, and the whole day I kept my camera there. It was just easy to access. It also takes the weight off your back because you've got the camera on the front. So that capture clip is really, really handy. And of course, you can attach this to multiple backpacks as long as the actual strap isn't too thick. One of the biggest areas that bags fail for me in the past has been the zippers. Now, the zippers on this thing are exceptional. That's the only word I can use to describe them. They're strong, they're reliable, they've never got stuck on me. I really like this looping system that acts like some sort of anti-theft mechanism, making it more challenging for someone to access your bag in a crowded area. Now, I wouldn't rely on it and just leave your bag lying around using this system, but it's really handy just to know in those crowded spaces that your stuff is secure. Now, this top compartment is really, really handy. It's easy access to items like your passport, your keys, your wallets. I actually put my batteries up here so I can easily get them whenever I need them. And a super handy touch is the sleeves that are used to hold your laptop, and you have a second sleeve to carry a tablet or an iPad. So in here, I've carried my iPad and my 14-inch MacBook Pro without any issues at all, and it feels nice and secure. I don't feel like I need to put an extra case on my laptop to keep it protected. Now let's talk about the inside of the bag. Now, this is where my reservations start. The dividers are not my favorite. The bag, as you can see here, completely opens up when you undo all of the zips, and because of that design, every time I've opened this bag up, something has fallen out, and that is quite irritating, especially when you are packing relatively tightly and you want to make sure that everything has its place. This is not the bag for that. It effectively gives you 2, maybe 3 shelves which you can put things on, then you can access things from one side or the other. But I just don't like this system. I feel like there needs to be, I just feel like you can't have a bag where your things can fall out. That's just the deal breaker for me. There are loads of pockets inside which allow for loads of cool organization. You can put batteries, you can put cables, you can put SD cards. However, once you fill these pockets up, it actually reduces the size of what you can actually fit in the main compartment. So when you try and close that bag, if you've got it quite full, it makes it quite difficult. Now, it will close because the zippers are tough and the bag is quite malleable, even though it's made from solid material. But I just don't like the fact that I have to really shove things in and force things. And again, when you've got delicate things in there, you don't want things kind of putting weight on each other inside your bag. Okay, let's go into the camera. So my camera of choice, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know is the Panasonic Lumix S5 IIX. It's a recent addition after my upgrade from the Sony a7 IV. You can watch a video all about that up here. The standout feature, which I've mentioned multiple times on this channel, is the SSD recording capability. Now, I wanted to use an SSD for a full day of recording in Amsterdam. I didn't want to have to worry about SD cards running out, swapping them out, making sure I don't erase one or overwrite one and checking what's on one. I plugged in an SSD and I was good to go. This 1TB SSD from SmallRig gave me 14 hours of 4K recording, 10-bit color, 422 at the LGOP codec, which was phenomenal. It was amazing. I just didn't have to worry about it once. So I connect the SSD with a really solid USB-C to USB-C cable from Kondor Blue. I highly recommend these cables. They are nice and solid. They don't feel like they're going to fall out or break, and you can kind of move them around your rig if you need to. Now, for most of the day, I was just simply hand-holding my camera, but I did have this little Manfrotto tripod just to hold it, maybe do some vlogging here and there when I needed to get the camera out and get some extra reach. As for lenses, I have this 16-35 Lumix S Pro lens from Panasonic. It's only an f4, but it was more than adequate for this type of environment. And I actually also packed my 24-105, also an f4, but I ended up not reaching for that at all because I was switching between 25 and 50 frames per second on the camera, and the 50 frames has a crop. So actually this 16-35 got a lot longer reach once I went into that 50 frames per second. So for close-up B-roll shots, I found this was actually adequate. I was able to get quite close to things that I wanted to film. So I had no issues at all just using this lens. So this was super handy, super versatile, never felt like there wasn't enough light. And yeah, I really have enjoyed using this lens so far. On the lens, I use a Nisi variable ND filter, and I also use these Tiffin Pro Black Mist filters. I use the 1/8 strength, and this is just to reduce some of that digital sharpness. I find that the Lumix footage, more so than the Sony's, give that little bit extra crispy digital look, and I don't particularly love that. So I use these filters just to take the edge off a little bit. Now for audio, I rely on my Rode Wireless Pro microphone set. These have never let me down in this type of environment. I use the receiver, which is attached to the camera. Now, of course, I've got the SSD on the camera, so I used Velcro just to attach the receiver onto the SSD. And then I just simply use the 3.5mm headphone jack to connect the camera to the microphone. And then I had a lav mic connected to the transmitter, which I was wearing the entire day, and that just gave me nice clean audio even in a noisy environment. Now, of course, I need to find a way to power all of these things, so I needed some form of recharging, some form of power bank. Now, I have now switched to using V-mount batteries for this type of thing. Now, this V-mount battery has a 99 watt-hour capacity. It has a USB-C port, has a USB-A port, it has DTAP. So I was fully covered when it came to power. I had a very, very long USB-C cable, like a 2-meter cable, which I simply connected to the V-mount in my bag, and then I just plugged it into the camera, which was sitting on my capture clip, and that just kept my battery topped up whenever I needed to. Now, I had 4 batteries with me on the day. I did go through 3 of them. One of them had died by the time I got there because I left it on the plane, which was a big no-no. But I had 3 batteries to work with, and I found that that was plenty to keep me throughout the day. And as I said, I topped up whenever I needed to using this V-mount. Now, to monitor my audio, I use these Newforce in-ear monitors, and they are fantastic because they fit nice and snug in your ear. They're super clear, super crisp, and nice and loud as well, which I like. and this just made sure that if I had any interference or any mic issues, I would hear it straight away. Now, one of the most important things that I ever pack in any of my camera bags is an AirTag. Now, I don't need to go into why I pack an AirTag in my camera gear. That's pretty obvious, but I've recently found these waterproof, dustproof, shockproof little holders which you can buy on Amazon, and you simply just pop your AirTag in there. It has a little kind of a silicone jacket that you put on it, and then you just screw this cap on, and it's got some 3M tape on it, so you could actually stick this on the back of your camera if you wanted to, or to stick it into a side of a case, but I just simply pop it into a pocket in my camera bag, and that just gives me peace of mind to know where my bag is at all times. And of course, I was going to Europe, which means that if I needed to plug into the wall, I would need a power adapter, and this is my trusty universal power adapter that I always keep with me when I'm traveling. And then I always carry a couple of Allen keys and some tools with me just in case. You never know when you're going to need to disassemble something or mount something, so that was quite handy to carry. And then, of course, USB-C cables. I kept a selection of USB-C to USB-C cables. I have worked really hard to change my entire collection of electronics to USB-C where possible. So, for example, my Bose noise-cancelling headphones that I took with me, which I haven't featured in this video, they take a micro USB port to charge, which is kind of annoying because it's the one cable that I have to keep just for those headphones. So transitioning everything to USB-C has been an absolute blessing because it just means I just have to take one type of cable and I'm good to go. And that's it. That's what I took in my camera bag for IBC 2024. It was a fun but very tiring day. Stay tuned for more content from IBC. I'll be showcasing some of my favorite bits, some of the favorite tech that I saw. So make sure that you're subscribed to hear when those videos dropped. And if you like this video, hit that like button and I'll see you in the next one.